If it's Monday night, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over Anthony Florio sitting in tonight for the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferrer. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be sitting in for the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferrer for the next 2 weeks, actually, because he has a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, and then he has a family gathering next Monday night. So get used to it. For the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be running the Wrestling Forum here tonight. So Hitman's Rules takes over here tonight. So you know what that means. Anything goes. That's all there is to say about it. So I am joined, as always, by my esteemed colleagues, the one and only Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, and the Phenom, Michael Bullock. We got a big show. We got a loaded show for you tonight. Well, we have a double header here tonight. First, we have the Wrestling Forum, and then we have a Ranger Roundup, which, quite frankly, I saw coming because, well, I'll get to that when we do the Ranger Roundup following the forum here tonight. So we're not going to waste any time. We're not going to dilly-daddle here. We're just going to move on to the task at hand, which is our review of Monday Night Raw, which was live tonight from the Richmond Coliseum in Richmond, Virginia, sorting out all the fallout from Payback. A damn good Payback, by the way. So, yes, here we go. Started off in the ring as usual with the Authority. What else is new? But not as predictable as we thought it would be. Yeah, Triple H and Steph were in there. Well, Stephanie McMahon is back. First off, her first TV appearance since WrestleMania 31, when she had during that infamous angle with her, Triple H, The Rock, and Ronda Rousey, which was epic to say the very least. One of the main reasons why WrestleMania was a 9.5 to a perfect 10 this year. Well, she was back. Her and Hunter were in there. They put over the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, which was vacated by Daniel Bryan, and they made the chamber match feel important, and and they were interrupted first by Sheamus and then by Ryback. And then Ryback and Sheamus, spoke their pieces, if you will, and Sheamus said, "Oh, I got rid of Daniel Bryan. I killed the Yes Movement and everything else. I'm the reason why he's on the shelf." And then Ryback comes out, says his piece, says, "I don't like bullies. I don't like you," and they made the announcement. Ryback and Sheamus will be two of the 6 men inside the Elimination Chamber for the vacated Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And then, all of a sudden, it leads into a matchup. Sheamus versus Ryback. And the winner of the match, in an even 10 minutes, it was Sheamus. So, a lot to digest here. And then, as always, I'm going to start it off. And I thought the segment was very good. Nice to see Stephanie McMahon back. I may be anti-authority, like Michael Bullock is, as we are part of the Yes Movement after all. Well, let me just say it like this. Sheamus says he killed the Yes Movement. No. The only way you kill the Yes Movement is if you kill every member of it. As far as I'm concerned, the Yes Movement will never die. And I'm going to see to it that that happens. So, thank you very much for that.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yeah, damn right. And I don't care what any of those
You know
authorities say.
what? I have to agree with that. As much as I might be a little reluctant about that, the Yes Movement isn't gonna die anytime soon. The IWC is way too strong, Sheamus. You lost on that battle.
Amen to that. Amen to that, brother. So now that I got that out of the way, the segment, the in-ring segment came off very fine. Like I said, great to see Stephanie McMahon back. She looked amazing, absolutely amazing. She didn't miss a beat, no question about that. Layoff? What layoff? It's like she never left, guys. She obviously needed some time off, and it was fine. Last time we overall saw her was a part of the Chris Jericho podcast, which I know we all saw. I saw it, both saw it. Well, I don't know if Fletcher saw it, because I know Fletcher doesn't have the network anymore. He canceled his subscription. But I know I saw it, and I know Michael Bullock saw it, and she came off really good during that, and she came off really good here. No doubt about that. And then Sheamus with the heel promo there. I thought it was a fantastic heel promo, a great shot at the Yes Movement. No question about that. And then Ryback, defending Daniel Bryan's honor, which I thought was classy and great on his part. And then the announcement that they were going to be part of the chamber. I'm not at all surprised. All 3 of us, we're not at all surprised. we knew they were going to be in it. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to, well, they announced all 6 members of the Chamber matchup, and one very, very notable omission, a very notable omission. And we're definitely going to, we're going to speak our piece on that. No doubts about that. And then from there, as far as the match is concerned, I'd have to say it was a solid 2.5-star matchup. I mean, good matchup here. I mean, it's another fresh matchup here. I don't recall Sheamus and Ryback ever meeting before tonight. But, it's a first-time matchup here, and, it definitely came off as a very physical, smash-mouth, hard-hitting matchup. Definitely a Be a Man fight. There were a lot of Be a Man fights tonight. This was definitely one of them. And, great. I'm glad to see Sheamus, keeping on racking up the wins here. They're definitely making him look strong. They're making him look like a definite favorite, if not the odds-on favorite, going into the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber matchup. And, he and Bray Wyatt, they're the mid-card heels who can be elevated into the upper tier if they're given more wins. And as for Ryback, I don't think he lost anything since he had the rib injury and, of course, the Sheamus shenanigans at the end of the fight, faking the eye injury, and then the moment referee Derek Moore turns his back, bam, bro kick, game over. So, solid 2.5-star matchup. There is absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So, that's all I can say about it. Segment came off fine, so I would probably say third best segment of the night because I thought there were 2 other segments that I thought were better. So with that said, I'm going to throw it up now to my partner in crime in the S Movement, who I had a very long chat with tonight, to say the very least. If not, well, actually, this was our longest one so far. And who knows, they could probably only get longer as we go on. So with that said, Michael Bullock, my partner in crime in the S Movement and our resident phenom, let's get your thoughts on, the whole thing with the Authority and then the Sheamus and Ryback match. 2 for 1. It's all yours.
All right, thank you very much, ridiculously over Anthony Florio and the president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. Yes, this is the Phenom and the vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always, and yes, it's true. I mean, me and Florio, we had a very long chat tonight. We normally go 30 minutes with our Raw pre-chat, but we actually chatted a little bit longer than that, actually going into, during tonight's Monday Night Raw, and talking a little bit about tonight's Rangers Lightning Stanley Cup, well, Eastern Conference final game. So, yeah, longer than what we expected. So, yeah, as far as the segment goes, I thought it was fine for what it was. Of course, first time we see Stephanie McMahon. Well, actually, since the night after WrestleMania, because remember, she was at the Raw the night after WrestleMania when she suspended Brock Lesnar indefinitely. So, yeah, she basically was like, did we miss her? And then she says, oh, it was a successful night for the WWE and for the Authority because Seth Rollins is a winner, and he defeated, of course, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns, and then Triple H says, you know what, those that question them and their choice can no longer do so because he has proven that he is everything they say he is, and we're going to pay tribute to him with Seth Rollins, Architect of a Dream. And then all of a sudden they revealed the Intercontinental Championship, and Steph says, you know what? We know Daniel Bryan's at home picking berries and chopping wood, but she knows how much courage it took for him to admit that Steph was right. In 2 years, he had 2 injuries, and that caused him to give up two championships. But the show must go on. And then Triple H says, we will have a new Intercontinental Champion, the most resilient and durable champ, which will happen in 2 weeks inside the Elimination Chamber. And then all of a sudden, here comes Sheamus, and he says, "Oh, I take great and he says, you know what, I put it into the Yes Movement, and basically he's like, you know what, we don't need an Elimination Chamber match for the IC title. And then he says, oh, I'm the one who ended Bryan's career. And then Ryback shows up and he says, you know what, you look stupid. And then he says Daniel Bryan has more heart and passion and determination than Sheamus could ever have. So he's basically defending Daniel Bryan, which is classy. And then Ryback basically tells Sheamus, you know what, I don't like bullies and I don't like you. And then Stephanie says, you know what, Ryback, Sheamus, you two are in the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match. And then Triple H is like, it seems like you two are in a fighting mood, so you know what, why don't me and Steph leave the ring and the match will start now. So yeah, as far as the match goes, I do agree. It was a 2.5 star match. I thought the match was fine for what it was. I mean, it was definitely a really good match, and it was definitely a man fight. And then of course Sheamus faking that eye injury, and then he hits the Brogue Kick on Ryback, and he gets the win. So I thought the match was good. So 2.5 stars is my rating. So with that being said, I'm going to toss it up to our Cerebral Viper, Mike Fletcher, for his thoughts on this, on the segment and the match. So Fletch, I give it to you.
All right, what's up, everybody? So glad to be here tonight. Let's get into a couple of things. First off, let's talk about the segment itself. I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. Everybody played their parts really well. To see Ryback and Sheamus come out, and to know that they're the first two going into the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship. Like I said, I kind of feel like it was a definite right move for Sheamus to be in it. I don't know if the big guy deserves to be in there. I mean, my personal opinion, I think the guy who was omitted should have been in there over over Ryback. Just personally speaking on that. But at the end of the day, it was a solid fight. I think it was an okay fight. 2 stars is my rating for the match. And, Sheamus does get the momentum, a good victory here tonight on Monday Night Raw. But as a whole, I think it was definitely a nice little filler setup for what was undoubtedly going to be a very interesting night for the rest of the evening. So with that said, Anthony, let's just move on.
All right. With that said, let's move on. Indeed. Let's see. Well, we had an in-ring segment. We had another beautiful. We had Renee Young, the beautiful Renee Young, in the ring, and she interviewed, and she had a special interview, and her guest, the man that gravity forgot, Neville. And then he was interrupted by Bo Dallas. Dallas attacks him, and then that leads into a match, Neville versus King Barrett. I don't have a time of the fall, but what we do know is the winner of the match, it was indeed King Barrett. So, again, a lot to digest here. Another 2-for-1 segment. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all this craziness?
Yes, as far as the segment goes, I thought it was fine. I mean, basically asking Neville about first, of course, about his rematch with King Barrett, and basically wants to know if he's enjoyed it so far, of course, being on the main roster. And Neville says he's been fortunate to compete all over the world, but nothing compares to competing in the WWE. And I may not be the biggest guy, I may have some doubters, but there's nothing more than that he loves doing is proving them wrong. When he looks down at his opponent and he is flying through the air, he is basically 10 feet tall. Well, with that famous finishing maneuver, the Red Arrow, and then all of a sudden, here's Bo Dallas coming out, and I'm like, oh boy. But then again, he basically says, Neville's career. He says, you know what? I would say Neville's career is looking up, but that would be a lie because he would never say things that he doesn't believe, and then Neville basically says, you know what? Who did I beat to start my record-breaking NXT Championship reign? Oh yeah, it was Bo Dallas because, well, if you go back to the NXT Arrival, the first ever WWE Network special, because it was Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville fighting for the NXT title in a ladder match, which was a damn good match. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. So yeah, and then basically he attacks Bo Dallas. Well, Bo Dallas attacks Neville, and then he rolls outside, and here comes King Barrett, and Bo Dallas is basically in there for commentary. So as far as the match goes, I'm gonna give it maybe another. I'm gonna go somewhere between maybe I'm gonna say 2.5 stars. I think that's the correct rating for it. I mean, I thought the match was fine for what it was. We had a little bit of all right action here. We had some good action here. But yes, and then just when it looked like Neville was basically going to he was going to win, then basically Barrett basically hits the bullhammer, 1, 2, 3, he gets the win. Then after the match, well, Bo Dallas basically puts a little beat down on Neville. So yeah, I get this feeling we're gonna have some kind of a Neville Bo Dallas feud. I don't know if that's gonna work well on the main roster because I'll tell you, in NXT that worked really good. So we'll have to wait and see. So I'll say 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating for the match. So with that being said, Fletcher, I give it to you.
All right,
Uh-oh.
let's talk about this in a nutshell. I just forgot to unmute my mic, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Here's the thing. Neville getting his interview time, I thought was pretty cool. I love the guy is truly becoming a rising star of WWE, no doubt about it, and he is definitely becoming one of my personal favorites. Um, I mean, I was very high on him on NXT. I'm very high on him in WWE, and the sky is the limit for this gentleman. After that, you know, we had Bo Dallas show up and try to rain on the parade, which is fine. You know, it's a good little thing to see, and I like how they're rehashing the rivalry between Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville because if you remember, especially UNST marks, this was a premier top of the line rivalry for a number of months. Bo Dallas was a very good champion, actually was one of the longest running champions in NXT history before he did lose in what was undoubtedly a damn near 5-star classic of a ladder match with Adrian Neville, where Neville captured the NXT title and won the belt. It was a great moment. It was right at the very beginning, right at the point of the jump off of NXT, and not only that, it was a jump off moment for the WWE Network at the time, for that to happen, and it put not only Neville and Dallas on the map, but it also put NXT on the map for the whole world to go nuts about. And oddly enough, to see these two men going, possibly going at it. I believe they will fight at Elimination Chamber. I'm just gonna put it out there for the whole world to know. As far as the fight goes tonight, I got to give it 2.5 stars. I thought this was a solid match. I thought Barrett and Neville. I thought it was not as good as last night's was. I thought last night's fight, even though there was a bull crappy finish, I thought that fight was better than this. I think the sell job by Neville, especially utilizing the fact that he suffered a pretty bad knee injury during the fight, and he sold it so good after that. And then he had the beat down after by Bo Dallas just to solidify the rivalry between the two men. And like I said, I believe we will see a war between Neville and Bo Dallas, and hopefully not only this, but hopefully this fight will actually jumpstart Bo Dallas's career, because Neville doesn't really need it right now. He's already got the rocket strapped on the back, and he's soaring towards the moon right now. Bo Dallas needs this more than anything else. So hopefully this rehash of a rivalry from the NXT days will bring us not only a good match, but possibly a show stealer and possibly a dark horse for Fight of the Night as well. So 2.5 stars is my rating for the match. Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah, 2 to 2.5 for the match. I agree with you on that. I mean, they're always capable of solid matches. Everyone knows that. And Barrett gets it back here. I mean, I'm not at all surprised. I mean, nice to see a little progression with the Bo Dallas character, even though it still irritates the hell out of me. But at least they're doing something with it. That's a good sign. Hopefully we can they can give us a reason to actually take this character seriously, even though I still don't. But hey, step in the right direction. I'll give them credit for that. And the segment was fine too. So yeah, the match was good. So I'm gonna say it was a solid, okay match up here. I mean, not one of their better efforts, but not like the Extreme Rules or the King of the Ring. But this one, I would have to say, was by default the worst of their series of matches so far. 2 to 2.5 stars, and I am genuinely concerned about Neville. I hope that's not a legitimate injury that he suffered tonight. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Hopefully that was just an angle, not a legitimate thing. So if that's a legitimate thing, that's scary to think about. So, all right, let's move on to something very positive. Oh boy, what a segment this turned out to be. We had Rusev Putia, Rusev Pashka. Rusev was in there. He cut his heel promo. And then he was interrupted by Lana. And then they had their words. And then basically Rusev kicked Lana to the curb. That's basically what happens here. A lot of craziness during this segment as well. But then again, it was expected. So, Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on all the mayhem here? You get to lead off on one of the big spots here tonight.
A big spot, a big shocking moment, but it was expected. We were waiting for the explosion. It happened tonight, and baby, somebody lit the match because that thing was dynamite. I mean, it was absolutely flawless. The way that they handled this, the way that this played out, I think tonight was definitely a golden moment for Rusev, a golden moment for Lana. We also talked about what happened last night. We saw the still shots. We saw the moment where Lana got in, saying that Rusev said that he gave up. And even my boys, even a couple of the guys from the 2184 crew, Jimmy Silva and Bill McConnell both came to me, and they're like, Mike, did he really give up? Did he really give up? And And I had to say, I was like, yes, it sounded like he gave up. He was saying something in Bulgarian or Russian. Then he says something about John Cena, and it sounded like I quit. But Lana did jump in. She did clarify. He's saying, I give up, I give up, I quit, I quit. Cena wins. Cena keeps the belt. And you know what? And Rusev was basically saying, no, I never said I gave up. Lana made a mistake. It was not her place to speak for me and my behalf and the whole 9 yards. Uh, then he goes into, um, you know, he's basically saying something in Russian again or Bulgarian, whatever, and he was saying that he knows the words "I quit" and I didn't say it. Then he goes over. Then the crowd gets on Rusev. The "We Want Lana" chant gets on him. Rusev basically, no, you're not gonna get no Lana. You're not getting Lana tonight. I don't give a damn. And the next thing he calls out Cena, he calls out the Authority, he asks for a restart. Lana comes out and she systematically basically goes for the jugular and basically belittles Rusev by saying that you're not a Bulgarian brute, that he is misunderstood, and basically she was saying, you know, you gave up. You said I quit, and I can't stand that. So he basically just berates Lana, calling her pathetic, calling her disgusting. Lana just, it got to the point where she had enough and exploded on him. And, there's really nothing more to say. It was a fantastic moment. Finally, Lana is out of the clutches of Rusev, and this is not the last time we see the beautiful, ravishing Russian here tonight, because she showed up a little bit later on in the evening, which even had me head scratching for a little bit. But we'll get into that a little bit later on tonight. But definitely solid, solid segment. One of the top segments of the night, no doubt about it in my mind. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
One of the segments of the night? No, this was the segment of the night for me. I mean, this was really well done. I mean, I'll say it like this. Now that I think about it, this was, to me, I'm going to say it was a co-segment of the night, because there was another segment that I thought was right up there, just as awesome and intense as this was. I mean, this came off really good. I mean, another fantastic heel promo by Rusev, and then Lana finally, you know, the slap in the face and everything else, and the war of the words. Yes, um, it took them a little longer to get there, but we finally got there, and it's here. It's here and it's now. Lana is on her way to bigger and better things, and yeah, what they're going to have her doing nowadays. Yeah, definitely is also a head scratcher. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but now I don't know. Well, we know what's next for Lana. We don't know what's next for. Well, actually, we do know what's next for Rusev, as Rusev is going to be a part of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match. He's going to be in the chamber. He's going to get a shot at the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So I'm a little surprised by that. I did not have Rusev as part of this matchup here, but well, he's in there. So and I think it's a good choice. I really do. So yeah, it's a co-segment of the night for me. There was one other segment that I thought, like I said, was just as good and just as intense as this one was. And I honestly don't know how to rank one and the other. So I'm just going to give them the co-segment of the night. I'll let you know what that other segment is in a little bit. I think you boys know where I'm going with it. So, and Fletch, you should know more than anybody, because we were together at that point when the other big segment went down. So, read into that what you will. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this craziness with Rusev and Lana?
Yeah, yeah, Rusev was basically PO'd when he came out, and he kept saying, I mean, he kept hearing the crowd saying, we want Lana, and he says, oh, there is no Lana. Lana needs to learn her place, and she doesn't speak for Rusev. I speak for myself. I do speak your stupid language perfectly, and I know how to say I quit. And then the crowd basically is like, we want Lana, and Rusev says, they're screaming like, there is no Lana. And then he says, you know what? I never said I quit. John Cena did not beat me. I crushed him. I beat him up so bad that he passed down. And then Lana quit because she was weak. And then Rusev says, you know what? I want John Cena, and I want the Authority, and I want the match restarted right now. And Lana comes out, and she says, you know what? I know you told me not to come out. And Rusev says, no, I told you not to come out. And then she's like, you know what? I want to explain myself. That you're not the who you're claimed to be. You're not just the Bulgarian brute. You're just misunderstood. And then she's like, you know what? I believe in you. I believed in you from the beginning. And then she says, and she's like, you know what? I was positive that you were going to be the first man to make Cena finally say I quit, but it didn't happen. She says, it's disappointing, but that's life, and I was just trying to protect you, Rusev, and she's like, I care about you. And then he basically says, you know what, you're pathetic and disgusting, and then Lana's like, basically he's like, enough, and then basically like, I did the right thing for you. I couldn't stand there watching you scream, and so I had to say I quit and for you. And then Rusev basically like, well, the crowd basically starts saying, you quit, you quit. And then he calls Lana a liar and says, there is no us, there is only me. I don't need you. I don't need no one. And then he basically starts calling her weak because you make Rusev weak. And he tells her to go back to wherever she came from and that no one needs her. And my, oh my. I mean, to say Rusev was upset is an understatement. I mean, even as Lana left, he continued to berate her and basically was standing so proud. So, holy moly. I mean, this was a crazy segment. And I do agree, this was the co-segment of the night. So, I really got nothing else to say except Floria. Let's just move on. I mean, I don't know how to follow that.
I know. A lot of craziness to digest. I know. So, well, I got a way to follow it. Another matchup. It was Bray Wyatt going one-on-one with Dean Ambrose. The winner of the match in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. It was Bray Wyatt. Fight of the night, right here. This was a very good matchup here. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. This was a fantastic matchup here. Some great near falls, some great moves. It definitely was a lot like those matchups they had. I mean, we all remember the Survivor Series match was nothing special or anything to speak of. The TLC match was just out of this world. I mean, I remember the review that Fletch and Bullock did on that night, which I was unable to attend because I had a very special family gathering that night. I remember you guys gave it very high remarks, and this one here, no exception. I mean, I only wish we could have gotten this style of match at the Survivor Series, but they obviously wanted to set up for that TLC fight. But they had a cooling off period, and now here they are back at it again. But and yes, Authority shenanigans did take place, a la J&J Security, and then Seth Rollins on the top of the stage. Um, so it's between 3.25 to 3.5 for the match, but it's still the fight of the night, in my opinion. I mean, this was a very good matchup here, and is an entertaining TV match with a finish that gives Bray Wyatt a much-needed win while also protecting Dean Ambrose, who appears to be who it looks like he's going to be getting another shot at Seth Rollins in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the Chamber event coming up. We'll get more into that in a little while, and yeah, so that's pretty much all I can say about it. And yeah, very entertaining match indeed. It's 3.25 to 3.5 stars, and to me, far and away the fight of the night. That's how I feel. So, with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose? We saw this match.
Yes, this was indeed the fight of the night, but I'm only going to go 3.25 stars. I mean, I want to say 3.5, but unfortunately we had those authority shenanigans. What else is new with the J&J Security? Basically sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. I mean, this match was so good. A lot of good back and forth and some good near falls, some good Shakespearean drama, but it was so good until the J&J Security basically had to get in the way. So yeah, I mean, if it weren't for J&J Security, I would have given it 3.5. Heck, I could have gone and say 3.75. But I can only give it three. I can only say 3.25 stars because of the authority shenanigans. But it was still a good match, and this was definitely the fight of the night. So, but this is not the last you're going to see of Dean Ambrose. We'll definitely get into that later on. So, 3.25 stars, fight of the night. Fletcher, I give it to you.
I disagree. 3.5. This was indeed the fight of the night. It was a great story. It was a great matchup. Everything that you expected it, and then some. It was a great build, and that's what it was. Yeah, we had a commercial along the way. Yeah, we don't like it, but it is what it is. We'll live with that. But the fight continued, and it got the momentum that we needed. And yes, I understand there was authority shenanigans at the end, but sometimes to make somebody strong, you need to get some of that stuff in there. And I know you guys don't like it, but I believe it was a good thing to have. So for me, this really was successful. I liked the body of work of all the guys involved in this fight. Plus, Bray Wyatt gets a huge win. He keeps the momentum that he got off from last night's Payback pay-per-view when he beat Ryback. Now he just beat another great competitor in Dean Ambrose. And like we said, Ambrose's night was not done. Not by a long shot. He definitely was a little more busier later in the evening, and we'll get into that in just a matter of moments. But 3.5 stars, fight of the night, Florio, go.
Tag Team Championship on the line for our next matchup. It was a return match from the Payback event. Stipulation, Xavier Woods banned from ringside. It was the New Day, Biggie Langston and Kofi Kingston defending the titles against challengers and former champions, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Winners of the match via disqualification in 5 minutes and 55 seconds, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. And then all this pandemonium breaks out after the matchup here with not only Kidd and Cesaro in the New Day, but the Lucha Dragons, Los Matadores, the Ascension, and the Primetime Players. And ladies and gentlemen, those 6 tag teams that I just mentioned, those are your 6 tag teams that will compete in the first ever Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match at the upcoming Elimination Chamber special in 13 nights, soon to be 12 nights on May the 31st in Corpus Christi, Texas. So once again, theme of the night, a lot of craziness to digest here. And Michael Bullock, you're going to be the first one to digest all this. So let's get your thoughts on all this craziness, the match, and then the pandemonium that broke out afterwards.
Too short for my liking, and I did not like the cop out finish. But you know what? I'm gonna say probably half to 1 star. But yeah, this was not good at all. But I mean, last night's match, the 2 out of 3 falls for the tag team titles. I mean, that was damn good. I thought it was about I would say 3.5 to maybe teetering on 3 3/4. But this one here left a not a good taste in my mouth. Yeah, and of course, the reason for the disqualification was because, well, Kofi Kingston and Big E basically were double teaming, stomping away at Tyson Kidd in the corner. So, yeah, and then after that, I mean, Cesaro basically come in, looked like we were going to get Michael Fletcher's favorite, the Cesaro swing. But nope, Xavier Woods had to basically had to come in and go for the attack. But then this is where the craziness begins. Who comes out first? The Lucha Dragons. And you know I was doing this, and I know Fletcher was doing this when the Lucha Dragons came out. Lucha, 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 Lucha. Yeah. There you go, Fletch. They basically attack the New Day and then go after Ken and Cesaro, and then here comes the Los Matadores hitting a suicide dive, and then here comes the Ascension, and then the primetime players come out. And of course, when it comes to the primetime players, you know it's all about the millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars. And they start to clear the ring, and man, with all this craziness out here, and and those 6 tag team competitors, they're going to be in that Elimination Chamber for that WWE Tag Team Championship. Well, for the first time ever, the tag team titles being defended in an Elimination Chamber match. So, match was half to 1 star, but I'll tell you what happened afterwards was far and away better than the match. So, Fletcher, your thoughts on the match and the craziness that we saw after the match?
1 star for the match. Absolutely disgusting how this fight turned out. Nowhere near as epic as the fight last night with the 2 out of 3 falls. That fight was way better than this. I am absolutely disgusted. And I mean New York Ranger performance disgusted. After what I saw with that fight tonight, I was absolutely shaking my head. I just couldn't stand it. That's one of those moments where, I mean, I easily could go Cerebral Viper on this. I easily could go Viper on this, but I won't. Because what saved this? The absolute craziness from after the fight, as basically it was a 3-on-2 beatdown. Then the Lucha Dragons showed up, and then it was a double splash on the New Day. Then Tyson Kidd and Cesaro try to even it up. Then Los Matadores, ole! They show up and they start going crazy. They get the suicide dive outside. The next thing you know, welcome to the Wasteland, boys, because the Ascension shows up. And actually, finally, something positive from the Ascension. But then again, they got a little momentum from last night. That win, I know the fight was a dud, but still, they did beat the Meta Powers, Macho Man's Down and Axelmania last night, and now they found their way into the Elimination Chamber fight for the tag team title. So, I mean, hats off to them. They did it. They're in. And then the one team that actually ended up being the last team standing, and when this was all said and done, was the Primetime Players. And it's an interesting note because Dave Bautista actually did a shoot promo about a couple of nights ago, and was giving a lot of love to Titus O'Neil. I guess he was named a Father of the Year. Um, I guess in some part of the country, I don't know if it was a national thing or something like that. And he was saying that, this guy has been busting his rear end for a number of years, and but he's a constant professional. He's great in the ring. He's also a great role model, a great father outside of the ring, and this guy deserves to get pushed, and this guy deserves an opportunity. And WWE has been burying this guy for a number of years, and it is complete and utter BS. And this is from Dave Bautista. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who is, well, I guess you could say well liked but disliked too. I mean, he definitely can create some lightning rod controversy in WWE, but as a successful actor, if you know from Guardians of the Galaxy, I think he did pretty well, and he's actually filming Spectre right now, the 007 24th movie, which is actually coming out this November. So they're doing that right now. So it's pretty sweet to see him do that. But at the end of the day, I liked, like I said, I loved the outside interaction more than the inside. And yes, Michael Bullock, I was actually doing the millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars. I was actually doing basically all of the catchphrases, even the Ascension. I know that's gonna shock Florio, but I got some respect for the Ascension, even though they've been getting buried, golden shovel style by WWE's brass. But hopefully, hopefully they'll get a good showing. I don't think they're gonna win the belts, but I hope that they at least give them a good showing, and then we'll go from there. So with that said, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 1 star for the fight. Very disappointing, no doubt about that. It does go down as one of the worst fights of the night, unfortunately. Um, Last night was just absolutely incredible. I mean, that Intercontinental Rules match, the 2 out of 3 falls. I mean, just absolutely fantastic. But this one here, not in this case. And Michael Fletcher's absolutely right. I mean, I was definitely very upset with how it turned out. I mean, just as upset as he was. I mean, especially, and I liked how he threw in the New York Ranger aspect of it. I mean, to be honest with you, what happened to them tonight, I honestly expected it. I really expected it. I really did. I'll have more to say on that when we do the roundup after this, but nonetheless, very disappointing. However, we did get a payoff, and anytime we can get a payoff after a disappointing match or a segment, definitely makes up for it. And we now have the first ever tag team elimination chamber match all set to go. So it will be the New Day defending against Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores versus the Ascension and versus the Primetime Players. That is going to be insane in the membrane, folks. Simple as that. So, man, what a match that is going to be. First ever tag team elimination chamber match. I'm very intrigued to see how that thing goes. Really do. Really am. So, all right. With that said, let's move on to the next matchup here. Well, actually, this is a segment. And Michael Fletcher, I know he is going to be, he's got that cerebral viper grin on his face right now because he gets to lead off on this. Oh, my goodness. What a moment this was. I mean, now, just because we didn't get a match out of this doesn't mean a John Cena United States Open Challenge match or segment isn't going to be any epic because this was absolutely phenomenal. We were expecting, John Cena cuts his usual promo and everything else about how the United States Championship is our title and how much he loves the title and everything else, which is wonderful, and I love that. And of course, he does the usual stick. Open challenge begins now. If you want some, come get some, yada, yada. And we didn't know who to expect. Well, and this is right around the time Michael Fletcher started hitting me up. after I had that very long, very elongated chat with Bullock tonight. Um, who comes out? None other than the reigning, defending, undisputed NXT heavyweight champion of the world. Fight Owens, fight. You know what that means. Kevin Owens. Yes, Kevin Owens, the NXT heavyweight champion, formerly El Generico in, or Kevin Steen rather, the Antichrist of professional wrestling, the Ring of Honor, everything else, the master of the pop-up powerbomb. Oh my goodness gracious. The war of words these two had, this verbal exchange, wow. I don't know what else there is to say except I just laid out the groundwork. It was Cena interrupted by Kevin Owens, and the fireworks and mayhem that ensued after this. Like I said, theme of the night, craziness. Michael Fletcher, I don't know. I mean, I know you still have that cerebral viper grin on your face like you always do when you get to lead off on tasty segments like this. So I know this was a tasty segment for you, and I know it had a lot of fillings. So, all right, my man, let's have it. I know you were gushing over this. We were on the phone. You were gushing all over this. You were marking out.
I absolutely lost my effing mind when I saw Kevin freaking Owens come out tonight, and it was I couldn't believe it. But you know what? Something really ticked me off, and I hate to say it. Richmond, Virginia, what the heck was that? If this was an IWC crowd, this place would have blown like a top. I mean, imagine this in Philadelphia. Imagine this in Montreal. Imagine this in New York City. That place would have gone nuts. And and I think the way in Richmond, Virginia, just was like, okay, Kevin Owens, who cares? What? I'm more disgusted at that more than anything else. Okay, now here's the thing. John Cena basically, you know, he holds up the title that it's that the championship says our United States of America, holds up the title about three key words: never gives up. Then he talks about how what the you know what the belt exactly belongs and means. And in case you miss it, he got three letters for us. It's USA. He's like, now we have a difference of opinions. Well, I know a few people does. Myself, Florio, and Bullock we're like, you know what? We respect Cena. We don't mind you. Trust me. There's a few guys in my 2184 crew that doesn't get too you know what's about John Cena, and it would gladly say Cena sucks every chance they get. I'm not going to mention any names because I do not want to put them out on blast tonight. I'm not going to be that evil. Now, he goes he goes on and says that he'll probably continue the belt and continue to hold the belt and wear it with pride and fight because of people out there, for the men and the women of the United States military. And I think this was an awesome moment when they pointed him out in the crowd, and give the fans that moment to show the love for all of the men and women who has died in uniform, who has sacrificed their bodies, who has spent every winking day serving our country to give the life, the liberty, and the freedom that we have so that we can do things like the wrestling form. And we should honor military people, personnel, each and every day. So for me, on behalf of me and my crew, to the United States military, I salute you. Thank you for everything you do. We love you. Stay safe. Come back home soon, guys. All right. And then, you know, then John Cena says that the United States title, um, unlike the WWE Championship, this is a true symbol of excellent sportsmanship and he is more than willing to put the belt on the line for each and every week until he loses it to people who are deserving of getting the opportunity to make a name for themselves. And he rolled out the list. He rolled out the list of every single guy that has gotten into the ring with him and actually went to go for the belt. And that list is a who's who. You know, we got young guys like Neville and Sami Zayn who's gotten into it. We got guys like Wade Barrett and Kane who actually got into it. Dean Ambrose was the first guy who jumped at the opportunity. And, you know, with all the names that you thought, I mean, it could be past, it could be present, it could be future. Who is going to jump in and be the first guy? Kevin Owens. That's right. Mr. Wrestling himself. If you remember the days of Ring of Honor, and now I'm going way back. And the thing was, I said, and I told Anthony, this guy is unbelievable. But Florio has seen him from NXT, and he knows what he brings to the table. Trust me, Florio, he hasn't even scratched the surface on Kevin Owens because I kind of feel like WWE kind of watered him down a little bit. You know, that pop-up powerbomb is his finishing maneuver now. Yeah, why don't you try to see what his true finishing maneuver? Go on YouTube, and it's called the package pile driver. Do you want to see devastation? I mean, a package pile driver would almost kill some guys because the way that he does it is almost like a muscle buster by Samoa Joe. I'm just saying. Now, he goes out, he says, well, I come out here. I just want to say congratulations on your win. I was very impressed, and I could introduce myself, but then you know exactly who I am, don't you? Cena, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna give you your moment. I'm gonna give you some love. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the NXT Heavyweight Champion of the world, Mr. Kevin Owens. Crowd gives him the applause and the respect, and he's like, he wanted to do it right, show some love. Then he talked about how he felt guilty and responsible for what happens to Sami Zayn. But then he's like, you know what? No, because I was the one that hurt Sami Zayn. If you remember, I was the one that put him on the shelf the first time around when I popped up power bombed him at time after time after time after time after time. He did it about 9 times in the fight. And that's why the referees and the doctors had to stop the fight. And that's why Kevin Owens became the NXT Heavyweight Champion. So then he's like, you know what? It's a fine speech. You got to learn a lot. And he's like, wait a minute. Here's something you need to know, Johnny boy. He's like, I've been wrestling for 15 years. I've been wrestling longer than you have. So don't you dare come in here and tell me what I'm gonna do or what I can't do. Who the heck do you think you are? He basically stepped up to the Golden Boy and made him look like a biatch. This was epic. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who basically rips on everything? So he tries to give him some advice. If you want to fight, let's fight. Always like, no, I'm not going to fight you. But I will do this. Kicks him in the gut, whips him off the rope, pop up power bomb, down he goes. Then he shows the ultimate sign of disrespect. He stomps on the United States heavyweight title and shows off the world title. And everybody's like, how dare he? He's in the United States of America. How dare he? Here's one thing you need to know, folks. He's a Canadian. He's actually from Maryville, Quebec, Canada. You think for 1 second he actually gives a damn about the United States or the US title? No. This is Mr. Wrestling. This is the man that didn't care about anything but himself. The money he makes is all he cared about. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about the IWC. He sure as heck doesn't care about John Cena. And more importantly, he only cares about legacy, honor, and tradition of himself. And they and I loved how they say that he absolutely spit all over the WWE universe, how he spit all over John Cena, spit all over the US title. Monster nuclear heat going to Kevin Owens tonight, and oddly enough, with a big NXT Championship fight on Wednesday night on the WWE Network when he goes up against Sami Zayn and the title is on the line. Who? Now that makes me wonder about a couple of things. Number one, will Will Sami Zayn actually win the belt? Will he actually regain the title so that Kevin Owens can make the jump to the big roster and maybe he goes after John Cena and becomes the next competitor for the United States Heavyweight Championship? Number two, will John Cena show up at Full Sail University outside of Orlando, Florida on Wednesday night and possibly retaliate on Kevin Owens? I mean, there's a lot to decipher and there's a lot to think about, but clearly, far and away, one of the best segments of the night. Unfortunately, maybe not the segment of the night, but for me, this was freaking awesome and I loved it. I am grinning from ear to ear like a chest-fired cat. I tip my cap to John Cena and Kevin Owens. This was awesome with a capital A. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Come on, come on. Okay, yep. All right. This is my other segment of the night here. This was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I definitely understand why Michael Fletcher was way into this segment. Like, I knew he would be. I mean, the minute I saw Kevin, I was like, oh boy, Fletcher's going to go absolutely nuts. And sure enough, he did. And you just saw that right there. So that was a mark out moment for Michael Fletcher. I mean, he got his mark out moment, no doubt about that. I mean, I know of Fletcher's love for the ROH. I mean, not just for, Kevin Owens, formerly Kevin Steen, but also for Sami Zayn, El Generico. I mean, yeah. I mean, and so many other guys who are who came from ROH to go to WWE and TNA. And, yeah. And I know Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, a.k.a. Kevin Steen, was one of Michael Fletcher's personal favorites from the ROH. I know that for a fact. And I know he didn't disappoint. And, yeah, this segment was unbelievable. I mean, the verbal exchange was fantastic. And now, all I can say is, can you imagine if they had the match right here? Well, we don't have to wait long for the match. We're going to get it. Elimination Chamber, May 31st. It's on. Kevin Owens, John Cena, one-on-one. That's got potential to be something really, really special. Knock on wood. Let's hope that ends up being a damn special fight. I got a damn good feeling about that one. That's going to be one of the top fights of the night for sure. No question about it. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a 5-star classic, but I do think it's going to be a 3.5 to 4-star fight at the absolute best. But we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see how they book it. So, man, another match added to the Chamber card, which is expected because they only have a couple weeks to build this thing. So, but man, oh man, the verbal exchange, the verbal back and forth these two had. I mean, Michael Fletcher, Fletch touched on everything. I mean, no need for me to recap it. We still got plenty more to do here. So, Oh my goodness, what a segment! It's the co-segment of the night, along with the Rusev segment. Indeed, what a fantastic! And I cannot wait to see you throw down at the Elimination Chamber event on May 31st in Corpus Christi, Texas. So, co-segment of the night, fantastic all around. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on John Cena and Kevin Owens?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this was another co-segment of the night, and yeah, yeah, John Cena comes out, does his usual promo saying that this U.S. championship is our championship, it's our United States of America, and of course, thanking all the military that was in the crowd for what they do, and then he says, you know what, the open challenge continues, because you know what, you want some, come get some, and then who comes out? The NXT champion Kevin Owens. I'm like, holy moly. First off, he's like, well, John, first off, congratulations on your win at Payback. Very impressive. Now, I wouldn't introduce myself, but you know who I am, don't you? And he smirks like, and then Owens is like, if anyone out there doesn't know who I am, quite frankly, those people are not worth my time in the first place. And then Cena's like, look, it's Kevin Owens, NXT champion. And it says, Owens basically then thanks Cena, and then he says, you know what, said you must feel a little guilty and responsible for Zayn's injury. Well, John Cena's like, you must feel a little guilty and responsible for Zayn's injuries 2 weeks ago, but here to ease his mind. But Sammy was, well, it was Owens who was saying this. Sammy was injured before he even accepted Cena's little U.S. Open challenge, because he's the only one that injured him. And this Wednesday night, I'm gonna finish what I started. And Cena's like, you have a lot to learn. Some of these people that don't know him, but not a single person here is ever to be called a waste of time. And then he says, you know what, take a good look, because without all these people, there is no me, no Raw, no WWE at all. And then, from one chant to another, I want to put veteran advice. And then Owens is like, I may not have been in WWE as long as you have, but I've been doing this for 15 years, of course. Like you said, he was known as Kevin Steen. And he's like, you know what, I don't need your advice. And then Cena's like, okay, but I'll give you a warning. Sami Zayn had fire in his eyes, but I don't see anything in your eyes. All I see is fear, because you realize that you've bitten off more than you can chew, and you need to watch yourself, because Zayn is going to take that NXT championship away from you this Wednesday. And if you have a problem, this is Raw, and the U.S. title challenge is still on. Then Owens is like, I'm a prize fighter, but I already have a prize, and that's the NXT title. So when it comes to the U.S. Open Challenge, no. Well, the U.S. title challenge, nope. I'm not doing it, but I will fight you someday on my terms, not yours. And then all of a sudden, I mean, he basically hits the pop-up powerbomb on John Cena. I'm like, holy moly. He just punked out a 15-time world champion, John Cena. I'm like, did he just really do that? And then the ultimate disrespect, stepping on the U.S. title. But like you said, he's from Canada, but you know what? This is what you like out of Kevin Owens. I mean, and I'll be quite honest with you guys, he's like a replica of Seth Rollins. He's basically a guy that he's cocky and doesn't give two rats you-know-whats about what people say about him, or what they say about his antics. So, yes, but we don't have to wait long for that for when are we going to see John Cena and Kevin Owens? It's going to go down at the Elimination Chamber. John Cena at the Elimination Chamber special. John Cena, Kevin Owens. And all I can say is this is a fight I'm really looking forward to, and it makes me wonder with this Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match for the NXT title this Wednesday on the WWE Network. One has to wonder, will the U.S. champ John Cena show up for that? And maybe have his eye on the match, and maybe Kevin Owens as well. We'll have to wait and see. This was a crazy segment here, and another good segment and co-segment of the night. So, that being said, Florio, let's just move on.
All right, now we got our cool-off period. Now we got a major cool-off period here. We have ourselves another matchup. We have Dolph Ziggler one-on-one with Stardust. Winner of the match in 1 minute and 20 seconds. It is Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, this was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night, far and away. I mean, which is a damn shame because of the two guys involved here. I mean, I was expecting something solid at best, but I did not think it was going to be over like that, but it was. So with that case, this has to be an absolute dud and the worst fight of the night. However, another major payoff we get here. Well, all right. What happens is after the match, Michael Cole comes into the ring and conducts an interview with Dolph Ziggler after the match. And then Michael Cole informs Dolph Ziggler that you are the last entrant into the Elimination Chamber match for the vacant Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So now, for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, the match is as follows. It's Dolph Ziggler. It's Sheamus. It's King Barrett. It's Ryback. It's Rusev. And it's R-Truth. Okay. Where in the blue hell is Adrian Neville? Why is he not in this matchup? Yeah. That's a problem for me. Did we not learn?
No. Get the you-know-what out with that shit.
I agree. I think WWE absolutely, positively missed the mark here. Horrible booking.
That's
Bad
the one
call.
who should be in it, and not Ryback.
Well, I could even make an argument that R-Truth doesn't deserve to be in there either.
I agree with you. What has R-Truth done to deserve to be in this type of match? What has he done? Except, I don't know, serve as a jobber to the stars and compete in stud enhancement matches.
And what bothered me is that he was in the Intercontinental title ladder match at WrestleMania, and now he's in an Intercontinental title Elimination Chamber match. I mean, what the heck has he done to get into these types of matches?
I guess it's seniority, guys. I mean, he's been in the company long enough, and it looks like Mr. McMagma and his son and his son-in-law probably feels like he's worthy enough of this opportunity, even though we might disagree with it. They feel that that he earned it.
Yeah. Okay. But nonetheless, all right. Let me break it down like this: Ziggler more than deserves to be in the match. I can say the same for Sheamus. I can definitely say the same for Barrett. Those three guys deserve to be in the match, no question. Rusev, it's a little surprising, but you know what? I'm actually okay with him being in the fight. He needs something to do now. They're obviously moving him on from Cena, which is fine. And I'm even okay with Ryback, because we even threw Ryback's name out there. We basically have 5 of the 6. Well, here's the thing, though. We also said maybe there was a chance Bray Wyatt could have been in this fight, but they kept him out. I'm a little head scratching on that. But the one name who deserves to be in this match more than anybody, and I mean anybody, the man that gravity forgot, the new sensation. It should be Neville. I mean, because there could have been they could have done something really special with him in that match. Could you imagine him doing a red arrow off of one of those pods? That would have been freaking epic, but apparently they didn't want an epic moment, I guess. So, okay, more power to them. All right, Fletch, go ahead. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just want to be real brief about it. Do you think that maybe they're uh trying to protect Neville here because of the fact that because remember we're talking 2 miles of change, 20 tons of steel, and that steel grating. I mean, don't you
Very
think
tough.
that he's brand new? You don't wanna put his body on the line either. So do you think that maybe they're trying to protect him for something bigger and better?
Maybe so. That's a good point. Michael Bullock, I want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think about what Michael Fletcher just said? I really want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, Fletch does bring a good point. I mean, like you said, I mean he's only been on the main roster for about a month, and obviously they want to protect him, and they feel like maybe putting him in the chamber, which obviously is a good chance of getting hurt. You want to put him in there and risk him getting hurt even more. Uh, he does bring up a good point, but still, I mean, at least put him in there just to like give him a chance. I mean, I wouldn't think he would win the Intercontinental title, but still, it gives us something to. I mean, we've seen some good moments when it comes to the Elimination Chamber. We've seen some crazy things these superstars do, a la John Morrison when he was around.
Or RVD?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at least give him a chance just to see what he would do in it. I mean, I don't think he would win the match,
I
but
don't know.
hey,
I think he would have been at least considered one of the favorites. At
well, that's
least going
true,
in.
but still, I mean, I would have loved to at least see him in there, no matter what.
Yeah, agreed.
And if you want to talk about special moments in the Elimination Chamber, what about Goldberg? Anyone? SummerSlam 2003. I mean, yeah, that was some epic stuff he was doing in that.
Oh yeah, when he speared, I think he speared someone through the yeah, Jericho. That's what it was.
Yeah, and just his overall performance in the match. And but anyways, that's just something I wanted to get off my chest. But then again, Flex brings up a good point. So, but don't worry, Neville's young yet. He's gonna get it. Don't worry, he's gonna get his opportunities. I know that, but I think they definitely missed the mark here. I mean, yeah, Fletch brings up a good point. I think perhaps seniority did win out here, which is a damn shame. But anyways, those are your six: Ziggler, Sheamus, Barrett, Rusev, Ryback, and R-Truth. Those are the six men who are going to compete for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship inside the ominous Elimination Chamber on May 31st. But that's not all. Oh no, that wasn't all. The ravishing Russian Lana makes her way down, and not once, but twice, she plants a lip lock on Dolph Ziggler, and that brings out a very angry and pissed off Rusev, and Ziggler and Rusev go at it, and and then and then Rusev goes off on Lana again, and then Lana finally has enough, slaps Rusev in the face, and then it leads to Ziggler getting a zigzag on Rusev, and I don't know, guys, is it just me, or did they just start planting the seeds for a possible Dolph Ziggler and Rusev program down the road? I could certainly get with that. I know you guys could get with that. I mean, those would be some great matchups down the road, especially if one of them should win the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in the Elimination Chamber. That would make that even better. But my goodness, I mean, excuse me, the match was an absolute dud and the worst fight of the night, no doubt about it. But the payoff here with apparent and not only are we planting the seeds for a Ziggler Rusev feud, but apparently, I guess they're gonna have Lana, I guess, be the new, I guess we could say, manager slash valet for Dolph Ziggler. Interesting, very interesting. I'm definitely intrigued, and I definitely look forward to seeing how that all plays out. Who knows? Maybe we'll see how it plays out as early as tomorrow night, because remember, we'll have the spoilers. The spoilers will be out right around this time, if not a little earlier. tomorrow night when the spoilers for SmackDown and all that come out. So I'm definitely intrigued to see where this goes. So match was a dud, but the payoff definitely worth it. Rusev and our Rusev Ziggler feud down the road, and the pairing of Ziggler and Lana. I'm definitely intrigued to see where that goes. Very, very intrigued. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all this? How are you going to follow this?
Yes, this match was indeed a dud. This was indeed the worst fight of the night. But the promo was definitely better. Of course, Dolph Ziggler now going to be in the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match. Excuse me. Yeah, basically saying that you see the scar that I have on my head, of course, from last night when he got busted open. He says, "I'll go through 20 more of these to get the IC title." And then here comes Lana, and we were like, "What's going on here?" And she's basically grinning at Dolph Ziggler, and then she gives Dolph Ziggler the those eyes, and then she grabs Dolph Ziggler by the head and kisses him, and I'm like, holy moly, you lucky son of a bitch. I mean, who wouldn't want to be kissed by her? I know Anthony Florio probably wishes that he was the one that got kissed by her, and then all of a sudden here comes. And he basically looks around to see if Rusev was coming. And then the crowd was basically saying, one more time, and then Lana grabs Dolph by the neck and goes for another smooch. And Dolph is still unsure, and then here comes Rusev, and Dolph goes to attack, but Rusev hits the kick, and then Rusev starts berating Lana again, and then Lana hits Rusev with a bitch slap, and Rusev looks like he was getting ready to basically attack her, but Ziggler hits the zigzag and basically starts walking away with Rusev. Lana starts walking away with Dolph Ziggler, so match was a dud, but this was way better than the match. So that being said, Fletcher, I don't know how you're gonna follow that.
How to follow that, dude? You just pulled a botchamania, man. How
I did pull a botchamania. I noticed it. I said Rusev instead of Ziggler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why are you insinuating there, Michael Bullock?
Yeah. I just pulled a Ren and Stimpy, you idiot moment. Yeah, and I just said it to myself. Oh my gosh.
It's been a long night. We're having a little too much fun, and just it's all in good ribbing. So no, it's all good. It's all good. But I will say this: the fight was an absolute disaster, horrible fight. Didn't like it one bit. Definitely worst fight of the night, no doubt about it. It was just it was too quick than anything else, and I don't know what to say. Then we got the moment. They did talk about, Michael Cole did flat out say, how does it feel, that, he lost, you did see about the cut and everything else, 10 stitches up on his head from the fight last night, the bloodbath that he had with Sheamus. And let me tell you guys, they actually showed the graphic photos of the stitches going on. Oof. Go to WWE.com. Pretty gory stuff, man. Definitely not PG. Um, Behind that, Michael Cole did make the official announcement that that Ziggler was the sixth and final man in the fight, in the chamber match for the Intercontinental Championship, semi-botch, but I recovered quick. But I will say this, that, Ziggler was happy with it. Hey, he's like, look, if I can have 10 stitches on my head, I'll do whatever it takes. And the thing is, chicks does dig injuries, it makes the guy look, sexy in a way. I don't know. So the next thing we know, Lana shows up out of nowhere. I mean, caught me by surprise, caught Florio by surprise, caught Bullock by surprise. Next thing you know, you get the lip lock, and I'm like, huh? I kind of had to do a double take. I was like, wait a minute. Lana just kissed Ziggler? I'm like, Ziggler, you lucky son of a gun. How many other beautiful women do you always get? Think about this. I mean, he had a Cougar and Vicky Guerrero. He had AJ Lee. I mean, what the hell? He could have had Caitlyn if he... Well, actually, he did have Caitlyn. If you remember back in the NXT days, when they were doing that so-called NXT season with the Diva Search. That little... I call it a Diva Search. Come on, let's call it what it was. That NXT season was more like their version of the WWE Diva Search, where he basically made out with Caitlyn, and now he gets Lana. Come on, man, really? I mean, notch another belt, another notch on the belt, Mr. Ziggler, man. I mean, what is it with this guy, man? Why does he get the women? How does he do it? What's the formula? What, Ziggler? I need to talk to you personally. How do you do it, man? How do you have these beautiful women on your arm? You lucky son of a you-know-what. I think Michael Bullock said it best on that, too. And so I tip my cap, I bow down to the master, man, because I want to know how you do it. Even though I guess I've had my success, quote unquote, on Facebook and whatnot with some great photos. But, I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it. And that's all I can say about that. Fight was a dud, but I got to tip my cap to Ziggler, man. How does he do it? That's all I can say. Florio, it's yours.
Okay, moving on to our next moment here. It was a tag team match. It was Eric Rowan and Luke Harper going up against Fandango and Zack Ryder. Winners of the match, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. It was Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Unfortunately, the luck of the draw has bitten someone in the ass here, and I do believe Michael Bullock, unfortunately, it's drawn on you. So, yeah, Engelberg shenanigans have struck. So I'm sorry, man. It's all yours.
I do not envy you, Bullock.
Oh, this was an absolute dud. This was another one of the worst fights of the night. I mean, what was the point of this match? I mean, really? I mean, Rowan and Harper against Ryder and Fandango. I mean, you really think that match was gonna put some butts in the seats and eyes on the screen? Yeah, it put some butts in the seats, all right. The freaking toilet seat. Ayo! I mean, and once again, another man that Michael Fletcher liked once, Zack Ryder gets buried again, but hey, he's going to be in the burial club for a long time. I hate to say it, but you know what? I'm not going to get into any further details on this crap fest of a match, so Fletcher, I mean, it's yours. It's an absolute dud. I'm done with this nonsense.
Yeah, this was an absolute dud. There's really nothing more to say about it, but look out, because it looks like Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are together. They're united. That's bad news for the tag team division, because if these two get going, if they get on a roll, who knows, guys? We might be looking at future WWE Tag Team Champions. A lot of people was waiting for them to get the belts. They didn't let them do. They broke them up, unceremoniously. A lot of people were griping over it. Maybe with them reforming and working together, who knows? It looks like the White family might be coming back as a whole, and if they are, I gotta say it, man. Bug Eyes and Sheet Mask might be future WWE Tag Team Champions. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, another absolute dud and the second worst fight of the night. There's no question about this. They obviously want to make Rowan and Harper, the next big threat in the tag team division, which is fine with me. I mean, we all know Derek Ferrera, how he feels about it. He did that special blog a week or so ago. So yeah, and they did the right thing by turning Rowan heel. I mean, let's face it, his face turned so like a lead balloon and it was stale as moldy bread. So simple as that. So that's it for that. So no more time on this. Absolute dud. Second worst fight of the night. We're going to move on now to the Divas Championship matchup here. Nikki Bella defending the title against Naomi. Big difference here. Brie Bella not in the corner of Nikki Bella. Once again, authority shenanigans have play a role in that, as Stephanie McMahon stuck her nose in that. And Tamina Snuka, however, was in the corner of Naomi. Nikki Bella defends the title against Naomi. The winner of the match via disqualification in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. It was Nikki Bella, but wait, there's more. The dirty brunette from Norwich, England, has returned. Paige, Derek Ferrera's favorite diva. She's back, fellas. She's come out to play. So, and this was expected. So, Nikki Bella wins by DQ, 6.5 minutes. Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on this craziness here? As if we hadn't had enough of it already.
All right, let's go and let's go piece by piece. First off, the fight itself was okay. I mean, I'll give it 1 star for the effort. More importantly, at the end of the day, it looked like Nikki was going for the win. It looks like she was gonna overcome the odds, a la John Cena. But Tamina Snuka snuffed her out, put a super kick in the face, and then it was bell time after that. So a 2-on-1 beatdown ensues. The next thing you know, here comes Paige running out, making the save, and then, she actually was yelling that this is my house. She grabs the belt, she sets it down briefly, and then she looks at Nikki. She's like, you know what, go ahead, Nikki, it's your belt. Well, next thing we know, kaboom! Rampage. She lays her out right in the middle of the ring and says, this is my house. And one thing that the commentators, that Michael Cole, JBL, and Booker T were alluding to and were making a lot of reference about, Paige never got her opportunity at the Divas Championship. Remember, she won a Battle Royale back in England, but before anything could happen, she got jumped by Naomi, beaten down, which planted the seeds of the Naomi heel turn. But on top of that, it also put Paige out of action as she went on to do a Christmas movie for the Hallmark Channel, and we already know that she'll be back. So we knew she was going to be gone about 4 to 6 weeks. She's back. Tonight was her night that she makes her return, which means one thing, gentlemen. We might have ourselves a triple threat for the Divas title at Elimination Chamber. Nikki Bella versus Naomi versus Paige. Now, going into it, I think we all could agree. We all thought Naomi was possibly going to be the next champion. Now that Paige is back in the picture, who knows? This might have just opened up a whole thing of possibilities where I could see Paige walk out with it. I could see Naomi walk out with it. I think Nikki Bella, like I said, I think that sand in the hourglass, that 1 million seconds that I was talking about, I think that time's starting to run out. But now I don't know who's going to be the next champion. If you would have came to me last night, I was going to say Naomi, hands down. Now I'm starting to shift a little bit to that raven hair beauty from Norwich, England, to be the Divas champion. But it's going back and forth. I don't know how this is gonna play out. But the thing is, everybody's like, is this a heel turn from Paige? Did she turn heel? No. The reason why is because she's just marking her territory. She believes that she should be the rightful Divas champion, just like Naomi believes she should be the rightful Divas champion. They're just jockeying for position for one opportunity to take down the queen bee of that division right now, which is Nikki Bella. And they had their eyes on the prize of being the next WWE Divas champion. Florio, it's yours.
What was your star rating on that fight, Fletch?
1 star.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to unmute my mic. I'm so a botchamania on my part now. Unbelievable. But nonetheless, I thought I unmute my mic. Go ahead, Fletcher. Go ahead.
No, I'm just laughing. Go ahead, it's all yours.
Wow, first me and now Florio. Boy,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on tonight.
I thought I did unmute it. I thought I did, but nonetheless, it's 1 to 1.5 for me on this one. Well, I'm leaning more towards 1.5 because I thought there was some solid action up until DQ finished. The Page return was expected. I mean, we all know what happened with that. I mean, the other night during our Extreme Rules I think it was during our Extreme Rules preview show Saturday night. We mentioned about we read a dirt sheet mentioning about Paige, returning at a house show in somewhere here on the East Coast. I know they had a house show during the weekend, and I know Paige came back and they did an injury angle. I think it was on Friday night when Brie Bella, suffered. They did an injury angle with Brie Bella in Atlantic City, and then Paige came back. Paige came in and made the save. As the Bellas were facing Naomi and Tamina in a tag match at a house show, and there was a possibility that they were going to do that same the angle tonight that we saw tonight at Payback. They obviously didn't do that because they put Naomi and Tamina over, which was the right thing to do. And again, I keep asking myself, when is Naomi going to finally get her moment? Maybe they wanted to save it. I hope so. And Michael Fletcher makes another valid point. I think we're going to get a three-way. We're going to get a triple threat at the Elimination Chamber event. It's going to be Nikki Bella versus Naomi versus Paige for the Divas Championship come Corpus Christi on May 31st. It's as simple as that. You don't even it's not rocket science, people. That's all there is to it. So it's a 1.5 star fight for me because of the solid action before the DQ cop out finish. So okay, now I have nothing left to say. All right, Michael Bullock, now it's yours. Now I'm going to unmute the mic. I'm going to mute the mic the way it should be. So Bullock, it's all yours now.
Yeah, excuse me. I do agree. It's a 1.5 star fight. I mean, I thought there was some alright action before the DQ finish, and yeah, and then all of a sudden both Tamina and Naomi attack, and then all of a sudden here comes Paige, and she basically starts attacking both Naomi and Tamina, and then she screams like, "This is my house!" And then Paige grabs the title and sets it down, and Nikki Bella basically goes to grab the title, and then Paige hits the rampage on her and holds the title. So yeah, we know we're gonna get a triple threat for the Divas title. I mean, yeah, we all keep wondering when is Naomi gonna finally have her moment and win the Divas title. Hopefully it will be at the Elimination Chamber, but we'll have to wait and see. So, really got nothing else to say except, so Florio, let's get to what was the final segment of the night.
Seth Rollins, Architect of a Dream. Oh yeah, yes, 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 yes. Oh boy, that's exactly what it was. It was the Authority. It was the special ceremony for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. They had their little ceremony, and then all of a sudden, interrupted by the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, and then all hell breaks loose, and then Dean Ambrose gets Seth in a compromising position. Stephanie McMahon says, okay, let him go, and we'll give you your title shot. So apparently, it is on. It is going to be Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, one-on-one. Oh, boy. I thought it was, up until Ambrose came out, I thought it was your typical Authority segment, your typical Authority Authority shenanigan-laden segment here. A lot of, a lot of ego stroking. I'm not really into that. You all know that, especially being part of the Yes Movement. So, yeah, typical Authority segment. But then once Ambrose came out, that made it all the more better. And then all the hell broke loose and mayhem and everything else. And now we're going to have Dean Ambrose against Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As if this Elimination Chamber event couldn't get any bigger. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. That's all there is to it. So I would probably give this the third best segment of the night, to be honest with you. I mean, if it's a Monday Night Raw main event, then Authority shenanigans ain't going to be far behind. So a typical Authority shenanigan-laced segment, but Dean Ambrose came out and we got yet another payoff. Ambrose, Rollins, the title on the line at the Elimination Chamber event on May 31st. Holy mackerel, is this card shaping up to be something really, really special. Wow. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Seth Rollins, Architect of a Dream.
Yeah, it was your typical Authority promo with them basically bragging about, of course, Seth Rollins retaining the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, but that was until there was an uninvited guest who showed up, Mr. Dean Ambrose. And craziness ensued, and it basically, it looked like we were going to have ourselves a little repeat of what happened to Dean Ambrose. We had the cinder blocks, and instead Dean Ambrose uses a steel chair like, I'm going to take Seth Rollins' head off unless you give me a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And the Authority basically says, all right, you got your shot. So, and then, of course, a little retaliation. Of course, Seth Rollins using the pedigree again to plant him and standing tall. So, yeah, really looking forward to this Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins match for the WWE World Heavyweight title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how this compares to some of the other feuds that they had. So, yeah, really got nothing else to say except I'm just gonna toss it up to Fletch now. So Fletch, it's yours.
Yes, indeed, solid segment, no doubt about it. It was definitely a great way to close Monday Night Raw, a solid show in my opinion, and it gave people what they wanted. Dean Ambrose has been begging for a one-on-one opportunity, a shot at the title. He gets it. There's no questions whatsoever. He is the one to get the next opportunity. He will fight for the richest prize in our industry, and I think they really did a good job of selling it. By putting the compromising position on Seth Rollins, by putting his head on the cinder blocks, with Ambrose almost teeing him up to do a concerto style epic finish on him. But for Stephanie to say, okay, basically being the I'll say it, being the Lana of the situation by basically pleading for Ambrose for mercy, not to hurt Rollins, not to hurt the future of the WWE, and by basically saying, okay, okay, you get your shot, please don't hurt him, please don't hurt him, no, don't hurt him. Well, sure enough, he kind of does let him go, but you saw what happened next. A nice little brawl ensues. Unfortunately, uh, Ambrose did get caught and ended up getting pedigreed in the middle of the ring by the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. And that's it, guys. There's really nothing more to say. Anthony, I think it's time for the overall reviews. Let's go.
Michael Bullock, if you're ready, let's have your overall thoughts.
Actually, can you talk about the Fletch?
I knew it. Michael Fletcher, let's get your overall thoughts.
Alright, guys. My feeling about this Monday Night Raw was, it was good. Solid, but nothing that would have really made me jump out of my seat or really made me, celebrate or go anything hardcore at the end of the night. I think it was good for what it was worth. I loved how the body of work came out from everybody involved. Let's just say it like this. I think there was more downs than ups this time around, even though I liked the opening segment that they had with the Authority. I thought that was a nice little jump off, and then to see Ryback versus Sheamus go at it, I think we all can say that was a solid fight. Then, once we get into the next thing, then we had, the backstage stuff, and then, Barrett and Neville, unfortunately, solid fight, but I still believe that the fight was probably better last night, but the Bo Dallas thing, interesting. The only thing that really saved the show tonight that made this amazing was really that second, like, kind of mid first hour, second hour, where you had the Rusev Lana confrontation at the ring. Then you had Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt. I think we all can agree, great match. And the life got sucked out of the building again, thanks to the tag team title fight, which was an absolute sham. But the post fight was even better. Then Cena and Owens, holy cow, what a moment that was! Brought the life back into it, then get sucked out again by Ziggler and Stardust, and then and you try to get the recovery, but it didn't help. You had nothing that to really save it. Harper and Rowan, their squash fight, the Divas title fight didn't really do nothing for me. At the end of the night, the only thing that kind of saved it at the end was that the honoring of Seth Rollins being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the architect of the Dream Ceremony, I guess we'll call it. I don't really give two what's about it, but I mean, at the end of the day, my rating is as such, and I'm gonna give it a modest 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Good show, not a great show. Florio, it's yours.
I think you underscored it a little bit, Fletch, to be honest with you. But then again, like Bullock and I always like to say, you can't please everybody. We say that because, remember, if you saw Derek Ferrera's review, he gave the Cena Rusev I Quit match 3 stars, which was hard to believe. But like I said, we have our moments. But I say Fletch underscored it a little bit because this was a newsworthy show. It really was. And I thought they did a tremendous job in hyping the Elimination Chamber event. Considering the very short time they have to build it up, they made that thing feel like a big deal tonight, as they were throwing out matches left and right and everything else. And yeah, I know there were some not so great moments, but to me, I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I thought this was a really good show tonight. I'm not gonna say it was the greatest show. I'm just saying it was a really good show tonight. I mean, um, Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose far and away the fight of the night. And then you had and pretty much like I said, the newsworthy stuff. And then the Cena and Owens segment, which was unbelievable. The Lana and Rusev segment was unbelievable, and the opening segments with the Authority and everything else, and just the body of work and everything else, and just the way, and it's also the only reason, and another reason why I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10 is because of the fact that they did a fantastic job building the the upcoming Elimination Chamber event. I mean, it was a strong edition of Monday Night Raw. It was light on the filler and heavy on newsworthy segments related to the Elimination Chamber. And it was also filled with not one, not two, but 3 title matches. And then, of course, the big debut, not only the big debut, but the surprise debut of Kevin Owens. Yeah, I know the final segment didn't, left a lot to be desired, and it didn't really leave you excited to see more from, Rollins and Ambrose. But fortunately, their past matches do make up for that. And like I said, they did a fantastic job and a hell of a job of making this Elimination Chamber event feel like a big show in a very short period of time. And for that, I'm commending them. And because they did such a great job of that, that's why I'm being generous here, and I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. The worst I could give it would be a 7. But it's definitely between 7 to 7.5 out of 10. That's the way I feel about this show tonight. Strong show, to say the very least. And, hopefully they can keep on going. And, remember, we didn't really have our expectations were rather modest going into Payback, but they surprised the hell out of us, and they ended up giving us a much better show than we thought. But now our expectations are high for the Elimination Chamber, and rightly so, because the matches they got here, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Chamber match, the Tag Team Championship Chamber match, Seth Rollins against Dean Ambrose, and most likely a Divas Triple Threat match, Nikki Bella, Naomi, and Paige, and everything else and John Cena against Kevin Owens. I mean, in a very short period of time, they're making this thing a very big deal, and that's why I'm giving it the high mark tonight. Fantastic, strong show, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Michael Bullock, let's quickly now get your thoughts on your overall thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Do you agree with me or do you agree with Fletch?
I'm going to say this was a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. I mean, like you said, this was a newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw. I mean, like you said, especially with the way they started to build some of the matches for the Elimination Chamber in this short amount of time. I mean, like you said, they definitely need to be commended, and there were only 2 dud enhancement matches, but hey, at least they didn't have too much. So yeah, really got nothing else to say except 7 to 7.5 out of 10. With that being said, Florio, let's put a bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum for this Monday night.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. And of course, in a little bit, we're also going to have a quick edition of the Ranger Roundup. And trust me, you got 2 very pissed off Ranger fans. If you know what I mean. I don't know who's going to be more so than the other, but nonetheless, we're going to do our job like the professionals that we are. So, but before we get there, of course, we have our shout-outs to do, and Michael Bullock, I'm going to start it off with you. So, Michael Bullock, you start it off, then give it to Fletch, and then I'll take her home and set up the future content. So, Michael Bullock, let's quickly get your shout-outs here.
All right. Of course, shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's the Wrestling Forum or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it, and we thank you for tuning into what is a long edition of the Wrestling Forum, a really long show here, to say the very least, but it's always worth it to entertain the fans with a long show, especially putting up with a couple of botches from me and Anthony Florio, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We always have a fun time. So yeah, and of course, shout outs to our super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, and Jason Hicksonbaugh. And of course, shout outs to our friends from our high school days, Al Brederson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, and of course, to the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Derek Ferrero couldn't be with us tonight. Hopefully he'll be back with us Friday night on Strictly Sports. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for me. I'll save the rest of my shout-outs Friday night on Strictly Sports. And of course, so until, well, actually in just a few minutes when I join Anthony Florio and Michael Fletcher for the Rangers Roundup, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement saying, you know the routine, thumbs up, talk to you later, yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, and we'll see you in a few minutes for the Rangers Roundup. So, with that being said, Fletch, I give it to you.
Yes, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. There's really nothing more to say. You guys are the best fans in the world. You guys already know that. Tonight was a very long night, a very good night for all of us here. At least a good, decent Monday Night Raw to get our minds off of what we're going to really get into in a little bit, and we're going to be one raging, pissed off Ranger fans tonight. That's all I'm going to be saying. But I will say this. I mean, it was definitely one of those nights, and we'll just say it like that. Of course, you guys already know to all of the um, to all the great fans out there who continues to love us and support us. Thank you so much. To our super fans, you already know who you are. To all the guys in the junior high and high school days, you guys already know who you are. To my 2184 crew, I love you guys. And rock on as always. And man, it's gonna be a rough day going into work tomorrow. I go in at 4 o'clock and I'm dreading it, man. I'm gonna be drowning some sorrows big time tomorrow night. But anyway, until then, we'll see you in a little bit for the Ranger Roundup. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, special shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it is the Wrestling Forum or Strictly Sports. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, the Woodson family, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Chubb from the UK, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, Derek Ferrero, who's going to be with us tonight. I can confirm Derek Ferrero will be with us. Friday night for Strictly Sports. We definitely have a major news story, and one of the big stories we're working on when it comes to Friday night, of course, the shocking and sudden passing of new Pawtucket Red Sox owner Jim Skeffington. He passed away suddenly at the age of 73 due to a heart attack. So yeah, we're definitely going to have a lot to say about that come Friday night. And I'm praying to the good Lord above that we don't have to get into another Deflategate story. I swear, if there's another Deflategate story, I swear I'm going off. Simple as that. Cause I'm sick and damn tired of that nonsense. So, but we'll see what happens. We still have a few days to figure that sucker out. So, yeah. Yeah. And in addition to Derek Ferrera, of course, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, who was a part of our big Mayweather Pacquiao show a few weeks back. Alvarez and Rob Parsons, and I'll save the rest of mine for Friday night on Strictly Sports. So, all right, here we go, folks. Coming up in just a little bit, of course, this installment of the Ranger Roundup as we recap Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals with your New York Rangers against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then Fletch and I will be back on Wednesday night to do it all again for Game 3. We'll recap Game 3. And then, of course, another double indemnity night on Friday night as we not only have a Ranger Roundup to recap Game 4, but we're also going to have, the Strictly Sports, which Derek Ferrera will be back for. So, and that's pretty much it for this week. So, not as loaded as it was last week. Of course, the Bulls corner. That's all squared away now. So, that's come and gone. So, all right, so we're gonna leave you for a little bit. Be sure to join us within the matter of the next few minutes because Michael Fletcher will take over as always because the Ranger Roundup. So switch on over to Michael Fletcher's channel, Brace Fan 95, for our newest installment of the Ranger Roundup. And all I want to say is viewer discretion will strongly be advised for this show tonight. Just doing my job and being the honest guy here. So until a little bit for the next installment of the Ranger Roundup, it is ridiculously over Anthony Florio for the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock and his spirit, the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferreira. Ridiculously over Anthony Florio once again saying, the routine, everybody. Thumbs up, talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. And we'll see you in just a few minutes for the Ranger Roundup over on Michael Fletcher's channel, Brace Fan 95. And until then, the routine, everybody. Thumbs up, talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. And bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye for now.